Vigilante Williamson here with the 17th episode of my show, the Vigilante Williamson Show. And I hope, that fade did not work as smooth as I wanted to. But I hope everyone's having a blessed evening, blessed afternoon, or day, whatever time it is that you are watching this. We have quite a bit to get into on this episode. Shout out to anyone who may or may not be following me over from Casino's channel, Culture Casino. Appreciate it. That was on his podcast just a second ago. But we have to talk about more virtue signaling with Sarah Fuller, Joss Whedon, and some of the stuff that he's gotten himself into. BLM making $10 billion like they're Dr. Evil, and what that money was actually used for, and a lot of other stuff. But just going to give people a little bit of time to hop in and get into our stories. So first up, let's talk about Sarah Fuller. Her uniform, as I make sure my music stop. Sorry about that. Just Boomerang stuff real quick. But Sarah Fuller, I've talked about her in the past, and I've kind of gotten off of it for a while. She ended up kicking an extra point. I didn't cover that. I wasn't just going to cover every damn thing that happened with her. But this will not end. Her uniform has been inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. The football uniform and helmet of Sarah Fuller wore when she kicked off for the Vanderbilt to start. When she kicked off for Vanderbilt to start the second half of a game against Missouri, now resides in the College Football Hall of Fame. It's the same jersey Fuller wore as she gave the winless team a halftime speech before ever stepping foot on the field to make history, or herstory, to be more specific. Congrats, Sarah, and thank you for entrusting us with safekeeping of this rich piece of history, the College Football Hall of Fame tweeted. Making the big announcement, Fuller went on to drill 2 extra points in a December 12th game. At least that means she did something productive against Tennessee before her college football career came to an end, as Vanderbilt was they were not eliminated from bowl contention with an 0-9 record. They were eliminated when they were 0 like 4 or 5. They were eliminated before they got started playing. Here's just a tweet. Looks like my time as a football player has come to an end. She plays a few games, hits a few extra points, and she is in the Hall of Fame. She is not the first woman, by the way, to play in Division I college football just for a Power 5 conference. So the women who came before you don't matter, by the way. And the women who I've actually even had on one of these podcasts, there was a girl that kicked a game-winning field goal. No. Everything is about Katie. I'm sorry, Katie. Sarah. She is a Carrie. Katie, right? Katie, Sarah Fuller. Katie Fuller, as I'm going to call her for now, as I made a mistake. Because she just, everything's about her. I would like to thank personally the entire Vanderbilt football team, coaches, support staff for this amazing opportunity to be a part of this program. Even though players kicked and players quit and the coach got fired, I was accepted as an athlete and a true member of this team, one who was allowed to talk shit to the team. This is an experience I will never forget, will cherish forever. Good luck to the seniors and staff who are moving on to new adventures. Best wishes to the team as this program moves forward and continues to grow. So, yeah, they won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Letting you know how big of a deal Sarah. And there's an OnlyFans element to getting this uniform. I don't get that. But just letting you know, this is in the Hall of Fame. So it's just whatever. This shouldn't be happening, right? I don't understand the need to virtue signal or to put everyone, oh, look at how great this woman was for doing this contrived event. Now, to be fair, her kicking extra points was more consequential than that kickoff, but all of this is just very, very contrived. Are more women going to start playing college football because of Sarah Fuller? Actually, you know what? Probably. Probably with all the virtue signaling and attention that a small program can get, I'm sure it's going to happen more, to be fair. But will this actually inspire more women to take up the sport of football? And is this even something we want? Hell, with the men who play football, there's a lot of talk about concussions and all of this. So, is the end goal to have women play football? Like, what is being celebrated here? Her accomplishments in and of themselves were not that spectacular. She hit a few extra points, kicked a terrible kickoff. So, what is being celebrated with putting her uniform in the Hall of Fame and all the other hubbub and BS they've done so far? Who knows? It's just virtue signaling. So let's get into the next story. Oh man, my man Fenrir. Hello there, my brother from across the sea. Hello to everyone in this chat. Hope y'all having a good day. I think it's just you, Fenrir. I just did a stream with Culture Casino. I don't think anyone followed me over, which is cool. It's cool though, because we're talking about a little bit different subjects here, and I'm actually doing a stream on Jake D's channel. If you're still up and you're a part of the world, not too far after this, we want to get through this podcast and get through everything. So I want to talk about this story. Gal Gadot, or Gadot, I still don't know how to say her name, even though she's a lovely young lady, says her experience with Joss Whedon was not the best one. Gadot was also said she was interviewed as part of Warner's Media recent probe into the conduct of the set of Justice League. Okay, this is just her from Wonder Woman 1984. Gal Gadot is getting back in the spotlight with the upcoming and long-awaited release of Wonder Woman 1984, available in theaters and on HBO Max. She'll also be reappearing on the newbie streaming platform next March with Zack Snyder's new cut of Justice League. The 2017 film remains mirrored in controversy ever since star Ray Fisher alleged abusive conduct during Joss Whedon's reshoots, launching a Warner Media investigation that concluded earlier this month. In a new interview with Variety, Gadot said she provided testimony during the recently wrapped investigation, though isn't aware of remedial action. Oh, that's not good, remedial. As announced by Warner Media was taken. Findings from the probe were not disclosed, though earlier this summer, Fisher said the filmmakers grossly abused their power. Now, reading all that, I know it's a lot to read this article. Not too long, but the one of the things that actually came out was the thing about the scene where the Flash is on top of Wonder Woman. They used a body double, and apparently Joss Whedon was not that good. Oh man, Latino Slant says, "Don't forget the little people." I am one of the little people, Paul. I'm trying to get like you. Um, I still can't even get. I can't even customize my link on YouTube apparently. So I don't know if it takes some time, but I can't wait to be able to do that. Okay, there's something about this Godot thing. It's a bit fishy. Why is she only doing this now? If this truly happened and she spoke up, her word alone would have destroyed them. So why now? Huh? I'm not sure. Let's finish the article, then I'll do my little speculation. I know this has been a very thorough investigation, even just how much time I spent with them. I don't know what Mino actually did. And it's talking about the Fisher probe. Where's it talking about her experience specifically? Okay, in the LA Times interview, however, Godot also hinted at her own troubling experiences with Whedon, adding that it was resolved privately. I'm happy for Ray to go out and speak his truth, that his truth stuff. That's so bad. That seems so emasculating as a man to go out. I mean, you tell the truth. And listen, if it happened, it happened. I'm not sure what happened because Joss Whedon is not no guy I'm going to take his side on. But I wasn't there with the guys when they shot with Whedon. Had my own experience with him, which wasn't the best one, but I took care of it there and I took it to the higher ups and then they took care of it. But I'm happy for Ray to go up and say it's true. So when I read this, I see some sneak this in that old Ray Fisher. I don't know if y'all caught that. So that may be why she's saying it now, Fenrir. I think this is a sneak diss. Listen to what she said. I had my own experience, which wasn't the best one, but I took care of it there and when it happened, and I took it to higher ups and they took care of it. But I'm happy for Ray to go on and say his truth. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm not trying to be a spin doctor, but it seems like she is trying to say, hey, I handled it right then and there. So I think that's what she's trying to say. I handled it right then and there, and that was it. Listen, we heard a lot about Joss Whedon kind of being both an asshole and a creep. Um, and so I don't doubt that there was something to it. And there was a rumor about the scene. She said she didn't shoot with Joss, but I don't think that's true because there was supposedly that scene where Flash is on top of Wonder Woman that made her uncomfortable, and a body double did it. And maybe that's what she's referring to. Um, maybe I'm over speculating saying she's sneak dissing Ray Fisher. But even if she's not intentionally sneak dissing Ray Fisher, I think it's something to be said about the fact of handling whatever situation comes up at the time and not going out. You know, the same thing that Finver just asked about Godot can be asked about Ray Fisher. And to be fair, she was asked in this LA Times interview because of the whole Ray Fisher situation. That's why this article dealt a lot of with the Ray Fisher. It's kind of ironic that he's a creep, seeing that we all remember Buffy. She's a creep hole. Uh oh. Hell, JD, I will be on your channel not too far after this podcast. Well, hopefully not. I don't know if I'm going. I don't plan on going 2 hours like I just did with Culture. But yeah. So yeah, this Godot thing, it could be fishy. I mean, what Fimmer says. Why is she coming up with it now? It's a valid point. Yes, she was asked about it, but she could have. She didn't have to throw dirt on the fire, but she did. And like I said, rather she intends to or not, I think she said something about Ray Fisher in the fact that she said I handled it there, took it to the higher ups and took care of it. And I think she is talking about that situation with that Flash scene. And Ray Fisher, went to the media and whatever. And listen, Joss Whedon, he's made a lot of great material as a creative, but you've heard whispers about him being difficult to work with in a lot of ways. So this is not like it's not like I don't believe it, but there is a suspectness to it. It's just Hollywood. That's how Hollywood gets down. You know what I mean? There is a bit of it's hot in the streets to throw dirt on Joss Whedon. So let me throw a little bit dirt on Joss Whedon, and I think a little bit of a sideways diss on Ray Fisher as well. So I am going to get into the next topic, the next set of topics. And we're going to have to get slightly exozone, but to be fair, not that much. So BLM, and I'm only going to this Economist article just for the verifying number. Where is it? Where is it? You think I would be prepared, but I'm not. Let me, because I hate having my face. Let me sorry, boomering up the stream. That's what I get. That's exactly what I get to boomer up the stream. All right. There we go. That's the number I want to highlight. See that number? See that Dr. Evil number that BLM has gotten? Let me just read the sentence. Donations to BLM related causes since May were $10.6 billion. And a few weeks ago, we covered the fact that BLM wasn't giving money to their local chapters and was spending money on trips and bullshit. We already covered that, right? And then when this company, they're a company. Oh, no, don't forget they're not going to pay taxes. They're a charity, not going to be able to pay taxes. And what happened to their money? Local chapters, even the Hill said something about this. Local chapters were demanding transparency and accountability because of the recent moves of the organization. And these are all these local chapters: Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, Chicago, San Diego. They're trying to figure out where's the money. They got $10 billion between related causes. And we all already covered in a previous, actually just my last podcast when we were talking about the National Black Justice Coalition. And actually that video I think premiered. I clipped it out. And we're talking about how they hide behind what they really want to do. Everything was about LGBTQ in that case. Well, we also know a lot of this money went towards actual peaceful protests, right? Because we know a lot of this money went towards U-Hauls, bricks, and all sorts of supplies would end up at locations mysteriously, and also, um, yeah, billion with a B, B followed by A, and man, what the F? The actual lives being killed all over the world need money in third world countries, but the first world feel. I'll see what he finishes up the message with. Wow, think they hired me? I don't know, Latinos. You know what? Um, Probably not because you have to be white to work for BLM. I don't know if you've noticed. So I don't think you or me will be able to work for BLM. If you are Caucasian with blue hair, maybe. Or if you're a Rachel Dolezal type or a Talcum X. So maybe I should act like I'm a white man acting like I'm a black man to get a job at BLM. Oh, to finish up Fenrir's comment, first world filled with dangerous SJW quote crazy woke lunatics can make it with ease in the first. Yeah, $10 billion, and never forget, none of this money went to any of the families. By the way, now we can speculate because a lot of these donations were made through Act Blue, a charitable payment processing center who is affiliated with the DNC. We can speculate given the widespread funding, and I saw so many election commercials for uh, Miss Harris and her puppet, Mr. Biden. And as this was this black moment to have a segregationist and a woman who slept her way into the presidency, um, and how it was the best moment for black people, to have this segregationist that hates us, and that both people who have incarcerated so many black individuals was the best moment for black people. And we saw these commercials on YouTube or anywhere else, and we can only speculate if some of that money went to funding that sort of stuff. And then I'm trying to take off headphones that aren't there because I've been streaming too much. Keep this in mind. Listen, we can talk about how you feel about the Orange Man, how you feel about this election. I mean, it's pretty obvious there's something fishy going on. But one of the reasons that the Texas lawsuit into this whole situation, and I'm not gonna act like I've been following it always, because it's such a mess. But they claim one of the things they were afraid of and why they didn't hear the case was riots. So in this country, the supposedly free country, a charity can raise $10 billion, not do what they say, because we know that because the actual chapters of the charity aren't getting money. Potentially fund a oh no, we know, like, for YouTube censors, potentially and allegedly fund a presidential candidate with the money that they purport to use for black justice, and then use it also for riots that are then used as a reason not to do something politically, not to do something from a procedure standpoint. We're afraid of these riots that are funded by this charity. And that is happening in the United States. Yeah, wow, Talcum X. Yeah. What's the guy's name? Martin Luther King. What's his name? Sean King. That's the guy's name. He's a Caucasian brother, and that's sad, man. You're supposed to. It's okay to be white. It's okay to be black. It's okay to be Latino. It's okay to be a ginger. It's okay to be who you are. It's okay. Jeez. The worst part is that these people in BLM are mostly white people who have never had a hard day in their lives. Exactly. Remember Malcolm X's words specifically about white liberals. I've actually covered that in this channel. It's sad to think most black people forgot these words now, especially when they're so relevant. Malcolm X's exact words were the most dangerous thing. Well, it's not his exact word, but this is what he said. It was most dangerous thing in the Western Hemisphere is the white liberal. And oh my goodness, has he been proven true? And look what they've been able to do with this organization. They've been able to raise $10 billion worth of stuff and able to do whatever they want. And if you're not down with this corrupt organization and you are black, oh my God, you must be a coon. You're a disgrace to your race. How dare you not vote for a segregationist who locked us up? How dare you not vote for a whore that locked us up? You must hate your own people. That's literally what they've convinced people with this organization, and not only all the you know all the connections to all the celebrities, and they're trying to normalize this extreme Marxist anti-male organization. This organization that only needs black men to get shot by police so they can get attention, but this organization that won't even keep them. And I should have had the damn archive up because they changed their site where everything was about the non-nuclear family, and that's what this organization is about. It's about Marxism. It's about chaos. And they got $10.6 billion, and they don't have to pay taxes. They don't have to pay their chapters. They can cause riots, and then we don't want to create riots by doing our jobs. And that's America. That's America in 2020 going on 2021. So freedom is gone. And yeah, and no one's going to call them on anything. This is literally a criminal organization that got $10 billion. So yeah, I could rant forever about this. I have other stuff I want to rant about, but that's where we are with BLM. So I wanted to definitely cover that. So speaking of corruption, this time is being caught. Cyberpunk has been pulled from Sony's PlayStation store. Excuse me. Sony pushed Cyberpunk from PlayStation Store after backlash. Developers share tumble. I have Cyberpunk, and because I live right next to the Best Buy I pre-ordered it from, in between this stream and Jake D's stream, which you can catch me on later, I will be returning Cyberpunk. Because I am tired. I'm tired of these game companies being incredibly corrupt. Who is this? So basically, BLM is the real life Cobra. Uh, yeah, yeah, they are. They are the real life Cobra. I never thought about that. Oh man. Okay. Okay. But yeah, Cyberpunk, and I was talking about it a little bit on a Culture Casino stream, and I also was talking about it with Matt in the last episode, the 100 subscribers special went 3 hours. Me and Matt, I basically did the podcast, and then me and Matt just kind of riffed on Cyberpunk and a bunch of other stuff for another 2 hours. It was a blast, and we talked a lot about Cyberpunk. So at that point, he had logged. I mean, he still probably has logged in more hours than me, but his point was that even despite the bugs, this game is a lot of fluff, a lot of the appearance of control. And I kind of felt them, but now as I go a little bit further, oh yeah, Fenrir was there with me last night. So yeah, Jake D complimented Fenrir. So last night I was playing the game, and Fenrir said, "Take shots every time there's a glitch." Now listen, I got to 2 within like 10 minutes, and I should have taken like 5 or 6. I ended up taking the third one, but you cannot play the let's take shots every glitch in Cyberpunk. I had to stop counting glitches. There were so many movement glitches and everything. So yeah, Fenrir almost killed me last night with his suggestion. Ooh, Latino slant. That is something to do for the BLM story we just covered. Maybe if you call the local chapter and ask where your donation will go, if you want to figure out more of what's going on. I shouldn't have went out of this out of tabs. We were talking about the money for BLM, how it doesn't go anywhere. But yeah, it's well, we know where it goes. It's complete BS, and that is something we should probably do. But as far as Cyberpunk, yeah, Fenrir said, "Hey, take a shot every time there was a glitch." I got to 2 within like 10 minutes. I should have went to like 6 or 7. If you enjoy your liver and your other bodily organs, I would not do that. I would never do anything like that. That is terrible. And outside of the bugs, it's just the misleading Cyberpunk. I'm sorry, CD Projekt Red. They represent themselves as a by the number stand up company. Yes, he did. You did suggest I stop. So the way you saved me, okay, that's fair. But they led themselves like we are by the numbers company. Leave the grief for the developers. This game will be finished when it's finished, and that wasn't the case. And there's been so many strawman arguments. And listen, if you're enjoying your experience with Cyberpunk, enjoy your experience. It's a beautiful game. The world of Night City is very immersive. I think the RPG elements were overblown as far as the marketing in my taste, and Matt said it, and I agree with it. As I played more in the game, and that's another reason I'm taking it back. But they represented themselves as something they weren't, and they were just Ubisoft. They were just EA. They were just Bethesda. And in general, we saw what's it called? Hello Games who did No Man's Sky. We saw them years ago do this, and they've gotten the same goodwill. Well, they fixed it. Well, they should have given us the game at launch. Stop trying to get us to fund your betas while you finish the game. We're not betas. We're not betas. We're not going to keep funding your game while you finish it. They had the opportunity that the first sign of trouble, because bugs this deep, they know how long it's going to take to be finished. In fact, some developers have come out, or rumors have come out that the developers have said, yeah, it was going to take another 6 months. You know, let me turn the lighting on. I just realized how dark it is in this room. Hold on a second. Let me. Sheesh. It's all gloomy. Living in the darkness. I'm usually the natural light, but it's starting to get rainy, so whatever. But they knew that these bugs were going to take a long time to fix. So these bugs are going to take a long time to fix. Do what they did with Halo. They do. I believe Bungie is doing this Halo. So correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. But whoever the developers are of Halo, they maybe Bungie is not. I thought Bungie was coming back for this one. I can't remember. I cannot remember. I am but a casual. But whoever's doing Halo, they said, you know what? When they had the first backlash at the visuals, they said, you know what? We're going to take our time. We're going to give ourselves another year plus to get this done and give the fans a complete product. In Cyberpunk, when they first delayed, and remember, this game was supposed to come out for PS4. It was in development for PS4. It was in development for current gen, because you cannot get a PS5. You cannot walk in the store and get a PS5. So it's not current gen. That is the next gen until it's widely available. But they had this in development, and they knew, okay, you know what? This game's not going to be finished by April. This game's not going to be finished by 2020. So that first delay, just delay it a year, because you knew then it was not going to be ready by any delay. There was no delay date that they gave that this game was going to be ready by. The developers knew that, so the execs knew that, and they didn't care. This is consumer fraud. And in fact, I actually, in Culture's stream, somebody said that there's potentially a fraud investigation from the investors they were trying so hard to appease. That's what they get. Greed does not win. And this is just another thing. New York Times has a little bit more. Let's actually talk about the article. I've been just ranting and raving about it. Let's actually talk. Cyberpunk was supposed to be the biggest video game of the year. What happened? Nearly a decade of hype led to a troubled release with glitches, a living fan base, refunds for potentially millions of players, and possibly a class action lawsuit. The hype around Cyberpunk 2077 had been building for nearly a decade when CD Projekt Red, the Polish studio behind the video game, announced the title in 2012. 2012. It was built as a gripping, free-flowing saga that will immerse players in a lifelike sci-fi universe. Since then, players have been treated to impressive teaser players, buy-ins from celebrities like Keanu Reeves, Grimes, and A$AP Rocky, and headlines heralding it as the most anticipated title of the year, if not the century. The game is set in a dystopian future, coming from a dystopian present, where digital nomads navigate a high-stake world of corporate espionage, where Mr. Reeves is their guide, and augment their bodies with high-tech weaponry. Da, 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 da. So this is just going through the story. So let's get to, let me see what we have here. Depends how you weaponize that greed, yeah. So it's talking about the videos that depict the game as virtually unplayable, and I wouldn't say it's unplayable, but there's a lot of errors. Right for errors populated by characters running on a barely functional artificial intelligence, largely incompatible with the older gaming consoles it was meant to support. Fans were livid. So many gamers demanded refunds from distributors this week. They overwhelmed Sony's customer service representatives and even briefly took down one of its corporate sites in response. Sony and Microsoft said they will offer refunds to anyone who purchased Cyberpunk 2077 through their online stores, and Sony, in a nearly unprecedented event, pulled the title. And I think, again, a lot of it's falling on Cyberpunk. And I said this in a previous stream with cultures I keep referencing, so watch that playback. But No Man's Sky happened, Fallout 76 happened, Anthem happened, the Avengers happened even this year. And at some point, these retailers are just they're tired of you think about how many calls from all the games I just mentioned that all of these retailers like Sony, like Microsoft or Best Buy or any other, because I pre-ordered my copy of Best Buy, wherever you got a game from, any of these games mentioned, think about all of the customer service slog you have to deal with because the developer is trying to grift customers. And Finver said, yeah, it's not unplayable. You just have to need a lot of patience and temper. And I know there's people who've had decent. A lot of people are just really. I don't want to say making excuses, but there's people like, well, I'm not having any trouble. But you've seen even high end computers not have that great a performance, having like 1080p, 30 to 60 frame per second, which is cool, but not for no high end stuff. And that's at the best, and still having bugs and crashes. Let alone the base consoles. And then Eric July has a video where his PS5 version crashes all the time. But I mean, unplayable. No, I mean you can still get a lot of game, and honestly, it's not that great. So let's get back into the article. It says the rollout is one of the most visible disasters in the history of game, but like I said, it's a lot of disasters in similar vein. I don't think this is as bad as No Man's Sky. I think more action is coming of it because it happened after all of these disasters. But to me, No Man's Sky was a way worse release than this. A high-profile flame out in the midst of the holiday shopping season by a studio widely considered an industry darling. They propped themselves up as an industry darling. When you really think about it, they were just another gaming company because The Witcher did this too. Shows the pitfall gaming studios can face when building so-called AAA games, titles back with years of development and hundreds of millions of dollars. But it's also a tale that insiders said they saw coming for months based upon CDPR's history of game development and the warning signs that Cyberpunk may not live up to the high expectation. And this is going into this is a pretty long, in-depth article about CD Projekt Red. Talking about the smoke and mirrors in the marketing front. Cyberpunk first announced in 2012 based upon the tabletop role-playing game created in 1988 was CD Projekt Red first attempt at creating a futuristic new world. And then go on about the casting or the development. But this article basically just talks about the delays and everything that happens with the release and everything. You know, we've gone over many a time. Um, this release was corrupt, and this what the reason they thought they could get away with this is because this has been par for the course for the gaming industry. It has been par for the course to release games and let them be finished later, let them be patched in later. And to be fair, even outside of the patches, I don't think this game. I'm not gonna say it's not that good. It's still a very beautiful game, and I'm sure the story is really good. But I've been trying to play outside the story. That's the stream that Fenrir almost killed me, but then saved my life as far as the shots goes. And it's a game where I was just running and gunning, and the options for stealth were very overblown. The options and dialogue are very overblown. The RPG elements are very overblown. This game is very much on rails when it does work, and that's not even really the experience I thought I was getting. So on top of, to me, the I'm not gonna say completely false advertising for the end product itself, but there was some of that as well. And even body type customization, I didn't find. There's a lot of body mod customization, but body type customization is not that much. So that's it on that front. I have another thing that I want to actually give another creator a lot of credit for. I want to give the Gospel According to Mark C all his flowers on this because he's the one who's been pushing this. Marvel, and we didn't really talk about this with all of the Disney investor meeting stuff that was going on. But Marvel has chosen not to recast T'Challa and Black Panther, to according to them, to honor Chadwick Boseman's legacy. So this is something I'll probably get a lot more chat, or want a lot more chat interaction for, because this is a debate. And I initially was, my thought it was it's kind of still the same. Just let's wait, let's give it some room to breathe. But I think you should recast the character because, I mean, to be fair, Chadwick Boseman spent the last years of his life going through all his suffering that he was going through to make sure that this character was brought to life multiple times with Civil War and obviously the Black Panther movie itself, and then of course appearing in Infinity War and Endgame. But he went through all of that work to make sure Black Panther got the screen. And Joker, Heath Ledger had a tragic death, and his role was recast, has been recast twice. Now, granted, it did take time. Jared Leto wasn't recast until what 4 or 5? No, longer than 4 or 5 years. Because Heath Ledger died in '08. It was like 7 to 8 years when Jared Leto was the Joker, and then of course Joaquin Phoenix, which he didn't really play the Joker. That's a whole other video, but it was called the Joker, and so he played the role. He got a chance at the role as well, and that was a tragic situation. But you recast it the role, and I think that T'Challa needs to be cast. And I'm not the only one. I just went to Reddit, and this is just a Reddit post from a few months ago, around the time it happened. The tragic death of Chadwick Boseman. I'll preface this by saying I'm black because I know some people will care. I think they should recast Black Panther. A popular talking point has been Shuri taking over the world role. We still need a superhero for black boys, and he was important for the culture and MCU Marvel. T'Challa has plenty of story to left to tell. This can give another black star an opportunity. I feel like Marvel and the next actor will go above and beyond to honor Chadwick's legacy. I feel like Shuri was great in her role and could still be the heroine for Black girls. Add Okie and Nakia in that conversation as well. If anything, Marvel could expand her role given her recent popularity. But just because Chadwick is no longer with us doesn't mean the role should be retired. Recastings happen all the time. You wouldn't cancel the MCU Spider-Man franchise because Tom Holland passed. Black Panther is an integral part of the MCU and a major marketing character as well. He's also a major figure in comics. For many people, we've read his comics and been waiting for years for Black Panther to come out. I hate to see T'Challa get retired. And I remember, like, there was a point, and a lot of people don't remember this. The original first, I'm talking about if you were in the mid 2000s, the original first wave of Marvel movies was supposed to be Iron Man, Ant-Man, and Black Panther, if you are old enough to remember that. So Black Panther was really anticipated to be phase one. That's what I'm trying to say. In the phase one of Marvel movies way back when with Ant-Man, which also got pushed back. And of course, we know Iron Man did get made and history, played out how it did. But Black Panther was supposed to be a phase one with Ant-Man, and they both got, lost for whatever reason with that phase, and they chose to do what they did. It obviously worked out. Fimmer has something to say. Chadwick was amazing, but we cannot let that hard work die. I think they need to recast a good actor that can do the character right and make the guy proud. I agree with this. And here's another thing. Keep this in mind. We have this multiverse, right? Because I do understand honoring Chadwick Boseman's role. It would be kind of weird to just, all right, here's another guy, and we're just going to act like he's T'Challa. Well, we have this multiverse, right? And we're already going to use this multiverse for a lot. Tom Holland was mentioned in this post. We're going to use the multiverse in at least his movie and Doctor Strange. And why not have a Earth? And you can have a, and this is just a spitball that I thought of when thinking of this topic. So it can be done a lot of ways, but this is just the gist of what I'm saying. You have a Earth where you have T'Challa. It is as a different actor played T'Challa, a alternate Earth, and something happens to that Earth. Therefore, something happens to that Wakanda, and it have something happen to our T'Challa that we remember. and you have a new, you can recast and have that recast be a part of the story, and in that Earth that I'm talking about, because like I said, Marvel's already using the alternate universe. You can have other characters that you may want to bring into the main MCU as a part of whatever event you want to give that Earth, and there's something that, and that this is again spitball, but you can use the alternate universe thing to explain the recast in order to show respect to Chad. Because I do get that, because just having, oh, here's just a new T'Challa. No. You do want to have an honoring moment if you can. Everyone can be a hero for everyone. Black girls just don't need Shuri, another black girl, to feel inspired. Hell, I'm black and my favorite hero is Guy Gardner. There you go. And I think Shuri was a cool character. I was amazed at how Black Panther was going to be. I thought it was going to be way woker than it was. Not to say it didn't have its woke moments, but it was really fun. It was a fun movie. That's what I loved the most about Black Panther, was how fun the characters were, and how fun the world was. And Chad, he really did bring it all together. It's going to be hard to replace him, no doubt, but you got to recast it. You cannot let that character that died. You cannot let the character die. He went through too much work to bring it to life. Replacing characters from Earth to Earth, yeah, it makes sense, especially if they follow the Illuminati plot from the comics. Ooh, the Illuminati plot. I do remember vaguely that plot line where different Earths were going against each other, and yeah, I do remember that. I think Maker was involved. The alternate Reed Richards, if I remember correctly. It's been a while. That was a while ago. But yeah, they won't recast. I just want to show another article with some feedback. They're just the people. There are 0 reasons. J Man the Great says in this article, which is on, I don't know, whatever online. There are 0 reasons not to recast the role. There's nothing sacred about a character in a comic book movie. And then this person says, why call it Black Panther 2? Because they have announced Black Panther 2, and they said they aren't going to recast him. This is dumb. Chad was amazing, and it's tragic, but he would be the first not to want to take away the character from kids. It's been a tragic year. Audiences can move past the recasting. Marvel has a history. It's bullcrap. Little black children have to lose out the most iconic black comic book character in history. I like Josh Stewart as Green Lantern in the JLU, but I get, for wider audiences. Because an actor died is not right. It's not fair. Boseman is not T'Challa. He's the actor playing him. I hate the decision. Giant mistake not to recast T'Challa. R.I.P. Storm and T'Challa's relationship. Yes, I do remember that relationship. It was dope. The dopest power couple in Marvel history. R.I.P. Namor and T'Challa. R.I.P. T'Challa and the Illuminati, to reference what Pharaoh was talking about. We aren't even close to the Stormcross. And I'm just talking about that. And then just talking about, but you just see the backlash. So I mean, I get it. I get honoring this man's legacy and honoring what he did, but you can recast him. And I get, not wanting to just show up like you did with fucking War Machine. By the way, Mr. Woke Marvel, Ike Perlmutter said no one notices the difference. And Terrence Howard found out he's not War Machine like everybody else, because you didn't even want to negotiate with him. I heard it, he had negotiated a lot for that first movie because he was coming off of Hustle and Flow, but there was no negotiation for the second movie, and they just replaced him. And that was despicable then, and it would be despicable to replace T'Challa just as if nothing happened. But there's a way to do it, especially if you're going to use the alternate universe shtick anyway. You might as well toss it in as a way of giving Chad his flowers on screen and being able to honor our T'Challa while having a new T'Challa face, or a lot of other things. You're Marvel, you're the $1 billion company. You guys can figure it out. So we are pretty much done with this podcast. I am just racing through this thing. I don't know if it's because I had a stream and I'm just like charged up in a midstream form or something. But yeah, this is the last story. I always like to end these podcasts with a positive news story, and I appreciate Finver, Latino Slant. Who else has been in here? Jake D. Yeah, Jake D. And anyone else who may be lurking and working, I appreciate you as well. But yeah, we're going to end this on a positive news story, and then in about an hour or so, I will be on Jake D stream howling about entertainment. But this is just a cool story of somebody just seeing someone in need, not thinking, and jumping in to save them. A man rescues a stranger floating face down in the Tagus River. Last Saturday, Jose Brito, 37, was walking with his son when he saw a man floating down the Tagus River in Portugal. Brito immediately undressed and jumped into the freezing water. He carried the man out of the water and managed to resuscitate him before medical help arrived. He was taken to the San Jose hospital and is expected, to make a full recovery. The president of Portugal, Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa, called Brito to commend him on his heroic efforts and planned to award him with a medal for compassion and courage. It's unknown how the 68-year-old man ended up in the river. Let's see the video. So he just jumped right in. Jeesh. Jeesh. So yeah, he just jumped in and saved him. I don't have the headphones on. But yeah, this is why I do these stories. Let me go on a bit. Let's just finish it safe. I can't hear it, but wow, and this is why I do these stories. It's good to know there's still people saving lives out there just because it's the right thing to do. Right? This is why we care about hero stories. This is why we care about superheroes. This is why there was so much hype about Luke Skywalker coming back. I was very critical, but we would like to think we will be like him. That when the going gets tough, we just jump in to save somebody. Um, and that's wow. So and they resuscitate him according to the article. But that's why we care. That's why we care about heroes. That's why I end on positive notes so we can remind ourselves, yeah, there's still heroes in real life regardless of what they do to our media, whether we agree or disagree, whether it's a scammy release, whether it's I didn't talk too much about it in this podcast, but about the Star Wars thing, everyone loved it, or except for me, even though there were some people on my side. But we care about our mythology because we want to know that it makes us better people, that we have in us um what Jose Brito had him to go and just jump into that river and save that man. Um, I want to remind you that people are still good. People still care, and they're still good in the world in a dark world. So that will end our podcast. We got this done in 48 minutes or so. That was pretty quick. You guys should have stopped me. No, but I thank you all for joining and anyone who watches the playback because I know quite a few people do watch these playbacks. I thank you. Um, yeah, he said, and most of the people in this country are actually white and European. Just imagine. Yeah. He was obviously a brother and a person of color, as they would say, and he jumped in to save that man. I didn't really want to toss in that element because I just think we're all humans anyway, and we forgot about that. Thank you for JD. Nice stream. It's sad. I said on YouTube. If I said on YouTube, big chances one would be demonetized. Hey man, I still want you to get a channel. But yeah, we're good people. People are good, just like the people in the fandom ministry been so good to me. I'm 100 subs, 100 plus subs. I thank anyone who's just subbed. I thank anyone who's watching this playback. I thank anyone who's watching any of my content. So if you like the video, please like the video. If you're so obliged to share and subscribe, please do so. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the podcast. And even if you do none of these things, I don't know what language I was just speaking. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time, and God bless. Have a blessed Saturday, or I'm sorry, Sunday. I don't know what day it is. Too much streaming. Have a blessed Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy your holiday season. I hope everyone is staying safe. God bless.